So a good evening to you, our viewers. It's 8:34 p.m. here in Nairobi, live at Afrique 24. If you're joining us for the first time, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and let's build the community. So we dive today into Dimba la Afrique, and we want to break down the things that have been going in the football scenario. But I'm not alone in studio. I have a great Chelsea fan who goes by the name Kelong. Kelong ni aje?
Poa sana Alex.
Yes. Can you give us your opening remarks before we dive into the we delve deeper into the football matters?
Awesome. Thank you everyone who are tuning in all over the world. This is Dimbal Afrique, the best football show in East and Central Africa. I'm glad to be part of this, and as we're going to discuss football matters, especially here in Kenya. Uh, I'm hoping for a great show. Thank you.
Okay, karibu sana Kelong. So I want to start with let's say we want to start with a simple question to you, Kelong. Uh, in their prime, who are you taking as a center back partnership, and why? Who are you taking and why? We have the great JT and Cavallo. We have Virgil van Dijk and Matip. We have Nemanja Vidic and Rio Ferdinand. And we also have William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. So in their prime, tuambie ni kina nani unachukua na kwa nini?
First of all, having William Saliba and Gabriel in that list is is really doing a disservice to the other guys because the the other people you have mentioned, they have win trophies. Gabriel and uh, and Saliba haven't won anything, so remove them. So those are are mid-level players. Until they win any competition, until they win a cup, then you can bring them in. So uh, I'm torn between JT and Cavallo and Nemanja Vidic and Rio Ferdinand because we all know what Nemanja Vidic and Rio Ferdinand did in the times of Alex Ferguson, and they were really, really, really good. But because of my blue biasness, I would go for JT and Cavallo. JT was awesome. He was a captain
True.
leading Chelsea all the time that he played for them, and he was really a powerhouse. Not only did he was not only was he a good defender, but also there
A
in
leader.
attack, he was a leader and could score corner kicks. Very dominating in the box of the opposition during set pieces. So that's actually what we are missing now in Chelsea. Somebody like JT who can score goals as a defender. So for me, JT and Cavallo, and I know JT is he the leading top scorer defender in EPL. I think he is. Let me just check that quick.
Okay, so Kelong, hiyo tumekupata vizuri. So you are torn between Nemanja Matic and not Matic, Vidic and Vidic, Rio Ferdinand, Cavallo and JT. So
Yep.
still on that question, in their prime, whom are you starting? Let's move on to the midfield. You can pick Frank Lampard, Stevie Gerrard. Let's put in somebody like KDB, and also let's add in Paul Scholes. Who are you picking to start between those players?
Could you repeat again the players?
I'm asking
Uh
in
huh.
their prime. This is about midfielders.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you starting? You have Stevie G, you have Frank
Mm-hmm.
Lampard, you have
Mm-hmm.
Paul Scholes, and the fourth one, I'm even forgetting. The fourth one, you have, let's put in somebody like Ryan
Kevin De
Giggs.
Bruyne or
Okay,
Ryan
oh,
Giggs.
sorry, Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah.
Okay. So should I pick one or
Yeah, you
starting?
pick one. Who are you starting?
That's a tough one. Of course, on my blue biasness, you know the answer. It's always super Frankie. But here's the thing. I also go with facts. Fact, not fictions. So Frank Lampard is the highest. First of all, is a top scorer in Chelsea, and also as midfield, I think is the highest top scoring midfielder in the Premier League. So for me, it's Frank Lampard. But somebody who comes close to him, I'd go to Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes was a powerhouse in the midfield, and you remember he retired. Then the great Alex Ferguson started struggling and had to recall him. That's then he came and led Manchester in reclaiming the Premier League again. I think for the 13th time. So for me, it's Frank Lampard comes close and is the top. Then Paul Scholes come closer to him.
Now,
Yep,
what
and I've
about
just
Stevie
removed
G? Kelong,
Stevie
Stevie
G.
G. Last minute, eh? Last minute, ule msa wa kufunga, shot outside the box. What about Stevie
Yeah,
G?
yeah. Stevie G was good, but okay, it was great, but not exceptional. I would say because remember Liverpool at those days was struggling, and yeah, Stevie J was playing well. We all remember the famous slip where Demba
Yeah.
Ba came to
Actually spoke
the
about it recently. Said that's one of his best goals.
yeah, of course, because it dented Liverpool's winning title hopes, and they were needing another title for a long, long time. So Stevie Gerrard is good, but while he was at Liverpool, he never did anything great. Um, Never led them to win a Premier League title. Of course, we know in 2005, Liverpool won the UCL after comebacking 3-0 down, but it was a whole collective team effort. So for me, I don't really consider Steven Gerrard as he would not top the likes of Paul Scholes. Even yeah, in that list that we have said, I would go with Frank Lampard number one, number two Paul Scholes. Okay, we have Kevin De Bruyne who has been great, so I'd put number. Okay, let's add Ryan Giggs into the conversation. Ryan Giggs would go number four, then Kevin De Bruyne, then at last I'd take Steven Gerrard.
Okay, and Kelong, uh, in those days, England had a brilliant midfield three. They had Frank Lampard, they had Stevie G, they had Scholes. Why didn't they do something for England? Because in Spain tulikuwa tunajua huko ni Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, and those guys would boss the midfield. Those guys would control the game for 90 minutes. And then Lampard, Stevie G, Scholes, those guys were good for their club. So why didn't they do something for England? Because for England, those guys were terrible. So shida ilikuwa gani?
I don't know, because the England golden era, there was a lot of high status footballers, people play exceptionally on their club levels. We had Rooney, you could stick John Terry, Rio Ferdinand, uh, the great Ashley Cole, all those great Premier League legends. But with England, they failed to produce anything nice because I think it was a lot of superstar power in the game. So everyone wanted to be, I think, the center of attention. So there was not chemistry between them. So remember the likes of Spain when they really dominated international stages. They had a chemistry in such that in the starting 11, it was Barcelona players and Real Madrid players in the
Yeah,
squad.
true. Uh,
So for
with a
them to
touch
gel,
of
it's
David Silva.
yeah, and a touch of David Silva in there. So for them to gel was easy compared to England, where everyone is playing for different clubs and they are all competitors individually. So they never gelled, and it was it was unlucky for the golden generation not to win anything. So yeah, I think what made them not perform was they had not the chemistry was lacking individually. The different clubs, they were good players or exceptional players, but then the chemistry never clicked.
Okay, yeah, Kelong, that's true. But that's on the side Yoni Yaku to usher us into the show. So recently this week, Bonnie, our great goalkeeper Patrick Matasi has been making headlines all over X. Alikuwa na trend. He has even reached the Daily Mail Sports. The Daily Mail Sports doesn't post stories about Africa mostly. It posts about football stories from Europe and some bit of South America kidogo, but mostly they focus on Europe. So I was shocked this week when I saw Patrick Matasi making headlines in the Daily Mail Sport. Nikasema, wow, this guy has become famous, even not just in Africa, outside Africa, but he's famous for the wrong reasons. But before we break it down, Kelong, I have two videos. Nataka tucheze ya kwanza, then as we break it down slowly. So let's watch.
Tomorrow and even on Saturday morning. But I told him there's a job we need to do.
Yeah. Let me ask you something, Matasi.
Yeah.
Can you promise us that first half, 2 goals, as we don't need anything else, like do this, first half, 2 goals.
2 goals.
And why we are asking you to concede is because we know one.
We will open the match.
When you concede, you open the game.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
without you conceding, if the game goes to 20 minutes, that game is locked.
Yeah.
But if you concede, especially before the game becomes hot,
Yeah.
pop, game is just boiling, the first attack, goal. The moment, the first moment when the game is boiling,
Yeah.
and the goal comes, everybody else will know. Oh, we are conceded. Let's fight now, guys. Let's fight,
Okay.
and we'll get the results.
So what I will do, you know, all this will happen with what I'll talk to the defender. Because the first like 10 minutes, it's just
There we go, Kelong. I think we have watched that video. It's very long and as you can see hapo Kelong, kama ushaikuwa mwekezaji kama mimi, hiyo yenye unawekanga hivi first half, first team to be scored, unawekea hapo Kenya Police, Matasi hawezi kuangusha. And he's clearly seen in the video discussing with two people, and they are speaking about how if he scored 2 goals in the first half, he will be given a huge sum of money. And let's truthfully speak along. This is not the first time we are hearing of match fixing in Kenya. In 2020, there was a player who was banned for life by FIFA because of match fixing scandal. In 2021, I think there's a player from Zoo Kericho banned also for match fixing scandal. In 2023, Kelong, there are 16 footballers and a coach were banned because of match fixing scandal. And Kelong, if you have been following Kenyan football for the longest time, you have seen that Patrick Matasi has been our number one goalkeeper, and there are times that he has produced good games, and there are times that we feel like ametuangusha. If you watch Kelong, I don't know whether you watched the game of Senegal versus Kenya, the time when we played AFCON, you could see that in the first half Matasi really saved. Yani kina Mane walikuwa na shoot wanaleta left right na center, and this guy was a brick at the back. The type of save he was making, nilikuwa nasema wow, this is now the guy. Tumepata Peter Cech. So even though we lost that game to Senegal, I can clearly see that Matasi was making efforts to try and save goals. But on the other hand, there are games zenye Matasi ametupeana Kelong that you can raise some eyebrows. There are some goals that he has considered that, and this is just the first time that this story coming out to the public. But if you ask me, Kelong, I'd say from a longest time nimekuwa nikishuku Matasi has been part of the match fixing scandal. So na ndo hiyo tuko na evidence. So I don't know why people would record something like that if you are fixing a match, because I feel like that's immature of them to do so. but maybe it was planned. But so Kelong, what's your take on the Matasi scandal?
It's sad, Bwana, because football is a professional sport that uh, it's confined within rules. But one of the undoing of football is gambling, and yeah, it's a serious thing because we all know predictions and the urge to get money. And now here in Kenya, we all know that footballers are not paid well. So in these scenarios, now they get approached by these individuals who want them to fix a match. So for me, it is a sad state of affairs. Number one, because our players are suffering because they're not really getting paid well. But at the same time, I don't find it as an excuse to cheat because I'm a believer in sports, and I know it's a competition, and in any competition, the rules have to be followed. You don't have to break them. So for him, he's I've seen the goals he has conceded, and to be honest, they are really really questionable. The things he does in a match that imagine you're a fan. Imagine you're a defender. I was seeing a match that he conceded a stupid goal. The defender almost cried because he was expecting him to save. But now, in this instance, we find him that he's letting easy goals, and the video really exposed him. Though he was saying it is a smear campaign, it is an AI generated video. So yeah, but for me, it looks real and authentic. Using my eyes, my my DCI eyes, I feel that the video looks authentic to me. So and yeah, but you see, I think there's a whole cabal or a whole gang involved, or a whole cartel that is involved in match fixing. Because remember, he concedes stupid goals, but there's someone who still selects him and to start that match. So you see, and he was saying also he needs some defenders to convince that they can make it happen. So it's really sad, and of course, people are saying. I saw DJ Shiti saying, it's because of what we call poor pay, hard life, uh, economic tough times that will lead someone to do that. But for me, I don't believe in that. I believe in integrity and playing fair, regardless of the situation. And because if we allow such character to it's tough times, yeah, then it will be a whole bloodbath. But you see, Kenyans are having sympathy, and they're saying, "Oh, let's understand him. Tough economic times. He had to do something." So you see, really, if we are thinking that way, it means that we deserve the leaders that we elect, because when we elect leaders, they go ahead and do unscrupulous things when they get the office. So it means that uh, it's a behavior that is ingrained in each and every one of us, that we are corrupt. We are always looking to do fishy stuff in order to have financial benefit on ourselves. So for me, it doesn't look good. And I saw a circular that he was banned for 90 days as FKF is doing his investigations. So I'm seeing somebody on the chat saying that this is an ODM tag. Uh,
Yeah, I see Penny Nyagaka who is he's a household name in Africa 24. Penny analeta siasa kwa mpira. But anyway,
Yeah,
Perry, thank you for watching.
yeah, but
Continue, Kelong.
it's intertwined. Politics, sports here in Kenya, they're all the same things. It's always a dirty game. For me, I'd pray and I'm looking forward when we are people of integrity, where we want to win because we are the best or we are better than the opposition. Because even on your psyche, that builds up something because you want to win because you train for that. You you prepared well for the game and you executed it well. So, if you believe in integrity, then losing or winning is defined by abiding to the rules. So, for me, Matasia, if found guilty, of course, here in Kenya, there's a bloodline between, or the lines are blurry between innocent and guilty. So if found guilty, then let him do something else, football or sports in general. It's to be played within the confines of the rules.
Okay, so I also have another clip of the Matasi doing his thing. So I want us to watch it before we analyze. Yeah, Kelong. Ndio tumetoka kutizama Matasi doing his thing. So is this Kelong enough proof Kelong that Matasi amekuwa akiuza mechi zetu? Is this enough proof? Because from what I'm seeing in that Kenyan Premier League game, mse amepigiwa ball. I think that's something we used to call as kids baby shot.
Hmm.
It's a baby shot. Yeah. There is no power along. It's just something. Even me, I've never played as a GK, but that one I am so sure I can catch it. So look, is this enough proof that Matasi amepeana game zetu mingi and can we? So my question is also, can we question the games maybe against Gabon and Gambia? Can we say that our team can win if they just stop selling the matches?
Yeah, I think I watched games that we played last last international break. And I feel Kenya we are almost there. We can compete, and things like Matasia's incidents is what is bringing us behind. It's we are making one step forward and two step backwards by action like this. Because if you see the video, I don't think you would find it hard to believe that Matasia has been selling the game. Like there's one where he just throws the ball into inside the net. he's trying,
Exactly.
he's overselling it. He's an actor. And a poor actor because even acting requires some level of skill that you have to sell to the viewers that this is not something deliberate, but you just see how he's playing some decision making that you'd see there's somebody trying to do something. So yeah, I think, of course, as I've said, the number one reason people will say, oh, okay, this guy is having financial difficulties, that he has to do something to make ends meet. So, do you mean that even the burglars in town, the robbers who steal, we can always use that excuse that, you know what, they're forcefully stealing because they have to survive. So uh, there's a slippery slope, because if we accept one incident, why don't we accept the rest of people who are trying to steal, try to con people? So for me, it's sad, and I hope that we become people of integrity. Yeah.
Okay, so Kelong, before we break down tumalize history ya Matasi, do you think Kelong, Matasi should be our Kenya number one goalkeeper? Because I feel like we can get better we can get better goalkeepers who who are ambitious, who have the drive, who are self-driven, who want to make a name for themselves in this game. So do you think Matasi should be our number one?
Not really. Of course, there's no way he should be number one. Even though he's good sometimes, even though people can call him exceptional, but once your integrity is gone, then for me, I think even bring the worst goalkeeper who has ambition, who is straightforward, who is trying his best to make the team win. I'd take him any day over the likes of Matasia. So for me, he should not be anywhere close to our first 11, or our squad. Let's be people of integrity, people who are trying their best, people who are putting their best foot forward, and who are looking forward to make their country move forward.
Okay, so and then Kelong, I want us now to move to football matters outside Kenya. Let's start off with La Liga before we get to the Premier League. So today Barcelona won 4 goals to 1. Lewandowski scored
Easily.
twice, and Ferran Torres has been exceptional this season. We have to give him his flowers. But apart from that, my question is: we haven't seen any of Ansu Fati this season, and reports from Fabrizio Romano is they are going to sell him at the end of the season. So my question to you, Kelong, is: has Ansu Fati, have they been unfair to Ansu Fati, or they should just call it quits because he has had a couple of injuries and the coach has been complaining he hasn't trained well to even get a chance to be in the 23-man list.
Yeah, so you see, for me, Ansu Fati, when he came into the limelight, I really enjoyed him playing. And of course, some years ago, I was saying if Messi retires from football, I will also retire, becoming a football fan and start doing important things in life. But I changed that statement. But while I watched Ansu Fati, I was like, okay, then this guy, he will play really well. He will make me be more interested in football and continue watching it. So for me, when he was breaking out, it was really good. But now the injury, I think, was it what no, a 9 month injury that breaks down players, and really a few players can get back to their level when they undergo that kind of long-term injury. So for me, it's sad, because when you have a 9 month injury, uh, you're as good as gone, because you cannot come back and play to the level you were. And we always say Messi, Cristiano as the legends in football because of their longevity. And one of the things that we have to appreciate is that in their careers they've never faced a long-term injury. No player, when they face a long-term injury, comes to their best. If there is, it's a few. So for me, Ansu Fati, it's sad. So now, and La Masia is unfair because they always churn out talent after talent. So Ansu Fati was good, but now we have Lamine Yamal, who is a beast in himself. Now he's now taking the limelight as the successor to to Messi. So let's wait and see. So for me, uh, for him now, it's just his mentality. knowing that now he can't compete in big teams such as Barcelona. He has to reduce his ambition. But if he wants to play football, he has to go to a low fiddle team. Try to bring yourself some, I'd say, frequent football. Then let's see what happens. So, and Flick is of course right because in his assessment, because you see how Flick wants his players to play, and so far they cannot get there because when you have the trauma of a long term injury, you can't really push yourself to the limit, especially on the physical level. So for me, this is just sad, and sometimes life is unfair.
And Kelong, let me disagree with you on one thing. You said when players have a long term injury, it's difficult for them to come back. But do you know, 2 years ago, we had the likes of Jeremy Frimpong and Florian Wirtz who play for Bayer Leverkusen. The both of them were out for a year, a full year, due to injury, and they came back, played well in the Bundesliga, lifted the broke the Bayern Munich cycle and picked the Bundesliga title. And Florian Wirtz was very instrumental with goals and assists, and he was arguably the best player in the Bundesliga that season. So, do you still, Kelong, support what you say when you get a long term injury, you can't come back strongly?
I think those are outliers. I would say it's a few players who would come back from a long term injury and then become captain a brilliant best because first of all when you get a long term injury you will always be careful, and also sometimes the long term injury means that you need to play with pain throughout your life, so you need to get injected with painkillers, manage it. It's really tough on these players who get long term injury. So for me, even like you see Wesley Fofana, for him, he's been told that there's no way he can play without pain. So for him, as long as he's going to be a footballer, he needs to be injecting himself with medicine so that he can play. So you see, you always be careful. You always not try to not push yourself to the limit. That's my concern because it's traumatic. Remember, then sometimes it becomes recurrent. Like you get a recurrent injury on the same place that you are having. So Florian Wirtz and Frimpong, it's an outlier kind of situation, and plus they are young. They have not let them do 5 years, and we see if they'll still be the same. Yeah.
Yeah, and we hope the best for his James. This season he has been there for a long time. I think from January he has been there up to now. We saw him even in England. He showed Trent Alexander-Arnold how to score a free kick.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
he,
so I
he,
think that's what England was missing. That's why they didn't win the Euros.
of
And I think
course,
right
is
now with Rhys James, now they have a winning mentality in the team.
yeah, of course. Rhys James showed England and showed Trent Arnold that who is the boss. There's always the discussion who is better between James and TAA. So James proved that he's miles ahead of Trent, and he's only just unlucky with injuries. People are saying he's made of glass. So, so let's see
Yeah,
how it
even
goes. Hmm.
people are making fun. Walikuwa nasema ati the reason why he didn't do a knee slide is because he knew he would get an injury.
Yeah, so injuries are the worst part of football, and unfortunately, it's part of it. We can't. There's nothing uh, we can do, but just hope and pray that the players are safe and they get to showcase their talent.
And the likes of Marco Reus can we say injuries iliharibia wachezaji because those guys were very good in their
Yeah,
back then in the days. I don't know whether you saw how Wilshere was very good with the Wilshere was a dribbler.
yeah. Can you imagine? Remember Marcus Royce? He was also always getting injury when Germany is heading to the World Cup. So for him, he's missed like 3 World Cups because of injury. Can you imagine? Remember Marcus Royce, how good he was. So
True.
injuries are worst, man. Jack Wilshere, an incredible player playing for Arsenal, but injuries really derailed his career. So for me, injuries are the worst part of football, man, because they they uh, they prevent us from watching a player making his peak or attaining their brilliant best.
Okay, so now also today we have seen FA Cup, Manchester City 2, Bournemouth 1, Aston Villa also have won. Marcus Rashford scoring his first brace for Aston Villa. So do you think along Marcus Rashford still has a position to play in United, or he needs a new challenge? Because in January there were rumors that Barcelona were opting to get him on loan. But now the question is, next season, should he sign for Villa? We see a combination of him and Marco Asensio, or should he return to United and fight for his position, or should he opt to try a new league? What do you think should be the future for Marcus Rashford?
Yeah, I think for him, he even needs to restart his career, and he even needs to play good football. Avoid Manchester United. That's that's my advice. Manchester United cannot bring you anything. So for him, even if he needs to go to Wolverhampton, just anything that's not Manchester United, then there he can shine. But of course, he's not that incredible. I'll say he's a good player, or average at best, above average. He's not like really exceptional. So for me, if he wants to play, he he wants to upgrade his standard or his level, go away from Manchester United. And of course, today he scored. Preston, it's not. It was a small team, so yeah. Of course, you can say if they're a small team, are they on the FA quarterfinal? Ah, but Aston Villa and Preston, we always knew who's going to win the game. Mm.
Okay, so Kelong, the FA Cup has reached semi-finals. We have Crystal Palace, we have Manchester City, we have Brighton, we have Aston
No,
Villa.
no, no. We have Aston Villa. Brighton was eliminated today by Nottingham Forest.
No, wait, Brighton won 3-0 Kelong.
Brighton, no.
Yeah,
Or so who is in the finals? Semi-final. It's Man City.
Man
It's
City,
Crystal
Crystal
Palace.
Palace, Brighton,
No, no.
and
Aston Villa
Aston
and
Villa.
Nottingham Forest. Those are 5 teams you are saying.
No,
Uh,
I'm saying four. I'm saying Nottingham Forest was knocked out on penalties by Brighton.
no, 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 no. Recheck. It was Nottingham Forest who knocked out Brighton yesterday. I was watching the game yesterday, and Sales made 2 saves and sent Nottingham Forest. So it's Nottingham Forest facing Man City.
Oh yeah,
Then yeah,
sorry.
then
Yeah.
Crystal Palace facing Aston Villa. So for me, I think Man City is the guy that should just leave the competition. Like, what is he doing there? And today I was rooting for Bournemouth to win the game, but unfortunately, there was this guy who was introduced in the second half, and uh,
Mamush.
it's Mamushi. Then no, there was Bob O'Reilly. I think Bob O'Reilly. He was a guy who was provided the 2 assists, one for Haaland and one for Mamush. I think the one who changed the game in the second half and made Pep's team proceed to the semi-finals. So for me, I was rooting for Bournemouth. I was rooting for the mid-level clubs to at least go for it. You saw Newcastle after winning the Carabao. They're doing a parade, a crazy parade because you see, Carabao Cup means a lot to them because the last time they won any cup was in 1959, before even some of our fathers were born. Can you imagine? So
But I think
for
that's better. I think that's better
yeah,
because Arsenal brag about every season them having a successful season, and there is no difference between the Newcastle coach and Mikel Arteta.
yeah, you see, so for me, I think these clubs that are in the we call them mid-level clubs that are not the big six, uh, they have improved over the years and let them win cups. So for me, I'd root so Nottingham Forest versus Man City. Of course, you know I'd go for Nottingham Forest. Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, or whatever team wins there, I really don't care. But what I'm interested and my hate watch will be just to prevent to see that Manchester United City gets knocked out. Then we can have now an interesting finals on the FA, and it will be good for these other mid-level clubs. A cup like FA can lift up them up. You see, a big team like Chelsea winning the FA. It's won it before. Carabao, okay, thank you. It's a cup. We always go for the big cups like either Champions League
Champions
or
League,
the
yeah, true.
Premier League. So those are the important clubs for the big six. The other ones are just by the way to say, okay, we played well, and here is a cup to show for it. Yep.
So, okay, Kelong. For me, I think Unai Emery has the capability of lifting the trophy. Though I feel like if he faces Nuno in the final, I think Nuno can turn up because they have a good defensive structure. And I like the way they
Yeah.
attack from Elanga. There are guys who work hard, who are self-driven, like Morgan Gibbs White. I believe Morgan Gibbs White is underrated. If you see his
Hmm.
work rate, that guy is another Gallagher. I think Gibbs White anajituma sana, and
Hmm.
Chris Wood has been firing. And do you think Manchester United made a mistake selling Anthony Elanga to bring in Mark Anthony? Right now, they don't have any Anthony. Do you think they made a mistake?
No, of course, Manchester United never made any mistake. It was Elanga who made a great decision, or the best decision, to leave Manchester United. You know, you leave Manchester United before football leaves you, because if you play in that such environment, you're not going to be motivated enough to compete. So for me, uh, Anthony Elanga leaving Manchester United was the best decision he ever made. It's like we see. Players who play in one club, but at some point they need to switch in order to win trophies. Like remember Cesc Fabregas playing well for Arsenal, but never really won anything. Came to Chelsea, won it. Oliver Giroud played well for Arsenal, never won anything. Got out of Arsenal, came, we gave him two or three cups. So at the end of the day, players need a trophy. They need a medal to show that, okay, I competed somewhere, I played, and I won something. So for me, Anthony Elanga coming out of Manchester United was good for him in now an ambitious club like Nottingham Forest. And I see, and I'm praying for them. Actually, I'm supporting Nottingham Forest to win the FA Cup. So they have a tough competition in Man City, but I see that they can eliminate them. They're the best team to eliminate Man City in the semi-finals in Wembley.
Okay, Kelong, and I want to speak about something which I don't think the media has talked about it enough, but players have been raising issues. So recently we are back from the international break, and on Thursday Barcelona played.
Yeah.
They played also today, and they have turned up in both games, and they have another game midweek against Atletico. Then they have Real Betis on the weekend. Then they have Borussia Dortmund. So there is a time Rodri made a post saying that it will reach a time where players need to protest about about the calendar of the year football. And I also saw Jules Kunde spoke about it, saying it's high time players complain about the football calendar year. And many people have also been talking about it. And now, from the fans' perspective, we feel like it's too much for them because they are also humans. So, do you think along something has to be done about the football calendar?
Yeah, so for me, I'd say the players are playing crazy matches. Like, remember Gavi, the player for Barcelona, he's 20 years old and he played like 70 games in a year. At some point, his body failed and he got a long term injury. So it's sad that he was always playing for Barcelona, always playing for Spain. So for me, number one, I would suggest that let's do away with unnecessary fixtures, especially in the international stage. The I don't know friendlies, the three United Nations Conference League, those kinds of unnecessary competitions. Let's root them out, and also avoid, of course, uh, unnecessary. I would say competitions or games like we have games that are playing home and away. Make them one match and don't put a lot of pressure in players. And also, my suggestion is that clubs should have enough squad to also meet the demands because we know that football now is run as a business and fans who they just want to be entertained. So football teams should also consider that the squad should be even if it's weak. Sometimes you have to play the weak players so that you can rest your strong players. You have to also to see the competitions that you want to win. You don't have to go for everything. Don't be greedy as and want to win everything. So for me, I'd say, of course, it's tough for the players. They're humans. They're not machines. Playing 70 to 75 games in a year is basically killing them. You see, Rodri complained, then he got a long term injury. Yeah, the body sometimes fails. And for me, my suggestion is that root out unnecessary competitions. Let players have breaks. Let players relax. You see, also FIFA is introducing a new competition called the FIFA World Cup, Club World Cup. As although Chelsea is there, and there's a lot of money that is going to be given out in that competition. I find it unnecessary. Introducing uh, competitions while players should take some rest. In a year, football footballers just rest like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Can you imagine how crazy that is? So it's sad, but the demands of football is increasing every other time. Fans want to be entertained, so football should go back to the drawing board and re-strategize how to handle this. And put and players of course should always advocate for their I would say for their rights to refuse to play games and put their health as a priority.
Okay, so Kelong, I think we have done about an hour of the show,
Yep.
and we want to close by some predictions. But let us fast forward. Arsenal star boy Bukayo Saka is back. So right now hatutaki kusikia Kelongo, we have injuries, gee, we have had this, we have had that. Right now, I think the person whom they're missing is Kai Havertz only. Otherwise, I
Mm-hmm.
don't see any other player who is missing from Arsenal. Martinelli is back. Saka is back. Gabriel Jesus, there is no difference whether he's there or he's not there because he's
Yeah.
not impactful and he doesn't even start. So I think
Mm-hmm.
right now Arsenal have everyone who is a key player for them. So and they have the biggest game of their career ever, the biggest game in the Arsenal history, and they brag that they have never lost to Real Madrid. In 2006, Thierry Henry scored a crucial goal in the 1-0 victory against Real Madrid. So, Kelong, this is going. We'll clip this. We'll post it. What is your prediction? Arsenal versus Real Madrid, the biggest game of their history.
Of course, I dislike both teams. I thought that Atletico Madrid should have been there, and
True.
they were outdone by some fine margins, fine margins. Like the goal on Alvarez, he scored. Then after a while, we were told it was ruled out. Right?
Corruption.
Was not given the chance to retake it. So for me, I dislike both teams, and we know that Arsenal, we don't want them to Kiburi Wajae at we are the biggest team in London. No, so for me, Arsenal versus Real Madrid, it's easy to see which team will win, which is Real Madrid. I said in our previous show, I think 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that I am predicting an El Clasico in the UCL champion and finals this season, where Real Madrid will be facing Barcelona, and at the end of the day, Barcelona will win the Champions League. So that's my prediction. Of course, PSG are facing who? In
Aston Villa, of which
Aston Villa.
PSG are on fire with Usman
PSG,
Dembele.
PSG will easily kick out Aston Villa. Then Real Madrid face
Arsenal.
PSG. Okay, Real Madrid face Arsenal. As PSG, Real will win. Then Real PSG in the semi-final. Real to win again that uh, game, but if they lose, I wouldn't care. Then on the other side, we have Barcelona and Dortmund. Easy win for Barcelona. We have Bayern Munich
Inter.
and Inter. I would go for the German giants, so Bayern to the semi-finals. Then Barcelona versus Bayern. Uh, Barcelona to repeat the same thing they did on the league competition. They whoop them badly, and Barcelona proceed to the finals. Then Barcelona versus Real Madrid in the finals, and Barcelona whoops Real Madrid and win the UCL. That is my prediction.
So, Akelong, I want you to give me your score prediction. Home and away, aggregate, Arsenal versus Real Madrid. For me, I see at home, Arsenal will lose 2-1. But when they
Mm-hmm.
go to the Bernabeu, I see a 3-0 victory. So,
Yeah.
it's
Five
just that
one
Mzalendo
aggregate.
is not here. I will tell him, but he will watch this, Kelong. I'm saying 5-1 aggregate. 5-1.
Yeah.
Arsenal will be scored. And I reckon Mbappe to score in both legs. I
Mm-hmm.
see Rodrigo scoring, and I see Valverde scoring one from outside the box. David Raya will not be able to save. So mine is 5-1 aggregate. What about yours?
um, uh, remember, there was a time when Arsenal used to play the Champions League, and they would always face Bayern Munich. And they will get eliminated with high margins. So
Yeah, 10-0 aggregate.
10, I don't want to be unfair to them, but I think aggregate it will be 6-2. 6-2. Of course, Real Madrid will discombobulate them.
Yes, and I know Curtis and Mzalendo are watching, and I know they will comment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
they will
they
comment.
all, they're always Arsenal fanatics, but at least sometimes in fanaticism, they need to be sense. And here, uh, the sense is that Real Madrid will absolutely shatter them.
So, Kelong, what's your parting shot about Chelsea? Uh, Juzi tumesikia wamepigwa na under 16 and under 21 kids. But when you're playing against your juniors, you have to let them win. Eh?
To keep it
Hata wewe
together.
Kelong ukicheza na mtoto PS lazima umwachie ashinde.
But yeah, mpe motisha, yeah. But now remember the players involved were the likes of Jadon Sancho, Nkunku, Paddy Ashile, the players who are not been starting, Malo Gusto, Lavia as well. But for me, I think Chelsea now needs to show that they can compete, because we have all our key players coming back from injury. Nicholas Jackson, Madueke, Palmer, who was having some muscle issues, now I think he's ready to play. So for me, I would the minimum thing I'm expecting from Chelsea is a top four finish and winning the Conference League. Other than that, our season will be abysmal. So for me, we have the metal, we have the capability. We saw that the first half of the season where we were playing really free flowing football, direct football, interest. We would score for fun, and December is where the things started falling apart. So for me, it's a chance for Chelsea to prove that they can compete, and yeah, I'm expecting them to be the top four because now there's no international break until the season finish. So it's going for it now. It's called the run in, where now uh, teams have to pull up their socks and do the final push. So for me, Chelsea should win uh, the Conference League and top four.
Okay, so we have done 1 hour. I see people are watching there from Mutembei. You make sure you subscribe to Africa 24. We grow this platform tufike 1 million kama FTV, DR Sports and the likes. That's where we aim to reach. People to subscribe, we grow the family, and people to show up. We talk more about football. Tomorrow we have the official show Dibala Afrique. Today we wanted to break down the Matasi scandal because of immediacy. That's why pulled up with the great panelist blues fan Kelong. But tomorrow we'll having the Dimbala Afrique show hosted by Boniface Kimanzi. So till next time, bye, and people to subscribe to the platform. We grow. So what is your parting shot, Kelong?
Yeah, just to our viewers all over the world, let's grow our community and let's talk about the game that we love for the love of the game. Thank you and have a peaceful evening wherever you are.
Okay. Kesho utafute kanzu.
Kesho tunatokea. Of course, Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers. Yeah.
Uko na kanzu yako Kelong?
Kanzu sina, inabidi nitafute.
Haya.
Haya.